In this episode, I'm taking you to downtown Modesto for an event called First Friday, where some folks from the manufacturing industry are going to be there, and I'm going to put them on the spot. I want to ask them what skills they're looking for new hires, entry-level positions in their companies locally. Let's check it out. This is Ready for Work. Cue the music.
I'm Rebecca Hinojos. I work at Del Monte. I've worked at Del Monte for the last 6 months. It's a great company. We process a lot of fruit, a lot of vegetables here within the United States, Philippines, and Mexico. So we're all across the country. There's a lot of different jobs, whether you want something in engineering, whether we're processing, doing some manufacturing, maintenance work, things like that. So there's a lot of opportunity here. It's really great.
Okay, so Rebecca, I'm out tonight. We're at Manufacturers Row at what they call Domo. This is downtown Modesto. Yeah. This happens the first Friday of every month, and the whole community comes out, right? So you can see folks all over the street. I think this is a great way for our local manufacturing industry to connect with community, because we are most known for agriculture, but not the products that end up on the shelf, right? So we're known for growing the crops, but not for the packaging and right? And that part of the business. So tell me a little bit of history about Del Monte that you know.
Yeah, so I think with Del Monte, it started as like a group of growers, and people in the industry and ag come together and they say, hey, we have this really great produce, and we really want to really try to see where we can sell it in stores, right? So we have our fruit cups, we have different ways where we package it with our cans using seamers. So there's a lot of different methods in which we can do that. That's a little bit of history that I know within the last 6 months of me being here.
Okay, perfect. Rebecca, I want to kind of change the conversation. So the core of my conversation tonight with the manufacturing industry is I kind of want to get at the bottom of maybe a disconnect between industry and education, and how education can work to facilitate the kids that are in our schools right now to get jobs at great companies like Del Monte. So what skill sets are most important in the manufacturing process for Del Monte?
Yeah, so I think there's like a lot of troubleshooting from the mechanic standpoint, from mechanics to electricians. Even when we're looking at more advanced operator level positions, we're looking for people that can, wire some things, that they can do a little bit of fabrication work, a little bit of things like that within the automation world. And we don't necessarily need someone that comes from a 4-year school. We have a lot of local institutions that, we really look to find where our talent is coming from. And we really trust, our Bolts, our MJCs, and things like that.
Okay, so I've heard this twice now. You mentioned someone doesn't have to have a college degree, right?
Nope.
But you and I both sit on an apprenticeship committee, which is a cool model, right? I think most folks are familiar with apprenticeships in the construction and building trades, right? IBW, Carpenters Union, etc., pipe fitters, etc. It works a little bit differently in the manufacturing industry, because you can work for a company and still not be union until you get into a certain position, right? So you don't need a 4-year college degree, but if you wanted to be a mechanic or an electrician or in a maintenance or utilities department in a manufacturing facility, typically that company will send you to college to get a degree while you're working. So tell me about your experience with apprenticeships in Del Monte.
Yeah, so essentially it's like a college scholarship, right? So we recruit team members that are really interested in the program. They get to go to school. They have flex schedules sometimes. It's really great. And then they get to go and work on the job with some of our more senior electricians, our more senior mechanics, learning a little bit about that on-the-job experience experience and how we kind of communicate in our industry, and then they get that skill set in the classroom. So it's really valuable, I think. It's like you're on scholarship, and you're getting paid while you're going to school. It's great.
So I never really made that analogy connection, and our friend Herschel, who works for the DAS, uses that analogy that it's like a sports scholarship, right? So if you have ambition and you have talent, and you bring that to Del Monte, and it will be recognized, and you could be tapped to have the company pretty much give you a scholarship, right? You have to follow the rules as you're going through the program, right? But you can exit with not only an AA degree, right, and money because you're actually earning a wage, but from there you could go on into like advanced electronics, advanced manufacturing, robotics, which is really where industry is going, isn't it?
Yeah, and really you're coming out loan free. I can't express that enough, right? You come out loan free. So when you look at people that are going to the four-year universities, and then I see them, even from the Del Monte perspective and in my past industries where I've worked, you have people that come out of the college jobs or college school, and they go into a job and get maybe 80 grand, right? And then usually when you come in as an apprentice, you're making maybe 50, 60. A couple of years later down the road, you could be making 100K. Again, loan free, so you're not really paying for anything. It's really great.
So, you wouldn't, well, I won't get political. I was gonna make a terrible joke about debt.
The debt forgiveness.
Forgiveness.
We don't have to worry.
But you don't have to worry about that. So, anyway, great. I'm really glad to see you here. What do you think of this event so far? This is the first kind of community event like this that you've done with Del Monte?
Yeah. So I think this is the first one that I've done with Del Monte. I really wanted to be a part of it. So even it ends at 10. I'm here on a Friday. I really want to really get that outreach, get the brand out there, and really show people that we do have jobs and we do have opportunities to further your career, to further your education. So there are a lot of opportunities.
How many employees does Del Monte have?
Oh, just in Modesto, probably 2,000 at any given time.
See, that's a major part of this community, right?
Yeah, huge.
Manufacturing is so important. Again, I always think, I bet you didn't know that 7% of the population across the country thinks that chocolate milk comes from brown cows.
Oh, well, that's...
Right? So it's that kind of thing that I think we're constantly combating. We're known for agriculture, right? So a lot of other people across the country, they don't really understand that the reality is when we say we feed the world, the way that we do that is we harvest that and then we package it and ship it across the country. I think people envision sort of the cornucopia as we approach the holidays, right? People envision the sort of cornucopia and maybe this is California, so farmers markets and all of that stuff. But the reality is from the wine industry to the fruit industry to the nut industry, all of that starts pretty much right here where we're at. It goes to companies like Del Monte and others. You guys package that up and then it's shipped out globally across the country. California has over 400 agricultural commodities that we ship. How many products does Del Monte package
products?
So locally, fruit cocktails, peaches, these are mandarin oranges, right?
Yeah.
So are these grown down south of us, right?
Yeah, this is grown down south of us. We have hundreds of products. I couldn't even tell you.
Couldn't name them all?
I couldn't really name them all. Because we also we package for Walmart, we package for the Targets, the Costco's, so Kirkland, we do it with ourselves. We're kind of everywhere, and same thing with our different brands of tomato squeeze and tomato sauces that we have. So there's a lot of different products out there.
So potentially Del Monte could be at somebody's breakfast, they could be in their lunch pail, and also the sauce on the pizza for dinner.
Yeah, even if you go to a pizza place, I'm sure they have some Del Monte sauces there.
Fantastic. Rebecca, thanks for being here tonight. So pleasure to talk to you. Thanks so much.
Thanks.
Because of life circumstances, I didn't graduate from high school.
I knew I needed a diploma to be successful and provide for my family, so I enrolled in the CBK Adult Charter School.
The teachers are very supportive. They even offer resources and training programs to help with a career once you graduate.
CBK showed me how hard work and dedication to my goals really pay off.
I earned my high school diploma thanks to CBK.
Learn more about the program during an orientation session. It is never too late to earn your high school diploma.
Hi, my name is Corey Gerson. I'm representing Fastenal Manufacturing tonight. I'm the operations manager for Fastenal's manufacturing division here in Modesto.
Perfect. And you?
My name's Liz Rivera. I'm an HR coordinator for Fastenal.
Okay, perfect. So, Corey, you and I sat in an apprenticeship meeting this morning, right, where we talked, part of that agenda was talking about like connecting with high school folks and bringing them into apprenticeships. You guys work on an apprenticeship model. So I'm out here tonight trying to kind of collect the voice of industry. What is it that you are looking for? We hear this all the time. What are the skill sets that are required by Fastenal to work at Fastenal?
Sure. Well, we obviously prefer people with, an industrial drive, mechanical aptitude. If you're good with math, if you like tinkering with nuts and bolts, you make a good candidate for the machining program. Not everybody has to have experience. If we employ and bring in entry-level students, oftentimes out of the junior colleges. We kind of put them into our apprenticeship program where they can develop their skills and get education while doing so.
Okay, so I skipped a big step here. What does Fastenal do? I skipped that whole part, right?
So multi things. I work in the manufacturing department, which we have 9 manufacturing locations within Fastenal. But Fastenal primarily is an industrial and construction supply distribution company.
Okay. And so in the manufacturing portion, what is it that you're manufacturing?
A little bit of everything. We don't just have one customer. We have many customers. So we're a machine shop, primarily CNC machines, precision machine components, all industries, oil and gas, aerospace, medical, DOT, a little bit of everything.
Nice. Okay, so skill sets that you're looking for. So I'm going to go kind of pose this question to you because you're HR, right?
Sure.
And so when you are interviewing candidates, you get applications. How are you scanning those?
Typically, we're looking at how long a person's, can a person keep a job? What's their experience? Looking at if they do have any educational background. Not that it's necessary to have any kind of degree or anything, but just looking for that. Can you keep a job? When it comes to paper, are you putting too much details? Or are you not putting enough details on your application? So we're just going through and looking for, is this the ideal candidate that's going to fit our culture and fit what we're looking for as an organization?
Okay, so you said they don't require a degree, right? Apprentices don't require a degree, right? To work in that, you typically go right into the workforce. And the way that apprenticeship works is you're getting on-the-job training while the company, which is the committee that we sat on this morning, the company is actually sending you to a local, in this case, a local community college, where they are training you for that skill. So when you said you don't necessarily need a degree, if somebody is ambitious and they want to go on, Fastenal will provide that.
Absolutely.
Right on. So talk to me a little bit about, I guess the core of what I'm trying to get at tonight is we talk a lot about the skill sets, the hard skill sets. What are some good soft skill sets or people skill sets, people like to call them, I guess, that you guys look for?
Yeah, I feel we're very basic. We want to make sure, one, that you're going to show up. You're going to be consistent with being there. That's a big deal, right? You have to be there to hit production numbers, to hit production needs, to ensure that we can, hit our daily goals and whatnot. So showing up, doing production, and being consistent, making sure you're working clean and organized, and just having a good attitude, being able to get along with people within your area and your department, and being that kind of that support system. Everybody kind of helps each other to hit goals. So yeah,
pretty basic stuff. Show up, do the work, be on time, be nice to each other, right?
Yeah.
And then on the hard skill sets, I think I heard you say time management was important. And what was the other big one that I just missed?
Just communicating and being, time management and working together. I feel it's all pretty basic. And then when it comes to manufacturing is kind of where he looks more for like what's your experience within manufacturing and what are those things that you picked up within the field. So
excellent. So Corey, I'm going to go to you. What are some ways, like in your opinion, what are some ways that the manufacturing industry can work better with education in terms of advising? What can can we do to better facilitate that communication that we were just talking about for our industry?
Sure, I think industry and education need to continue to work together as far as the proper curriculum. Making sure students are coming out of their education programs with the current modern technology, so that they're using the same type of equipment that they're going to actually use in industry. And I think we're doing a fine job at that right now. I don't think there's too much of a disconnect.
So you bring up a really good point, because the industry has changed. We have a number of industry folks here. I'm going to talk to several of them. Automation group is across the way here. Industry's changing to automation. You guys use a lot of CNC machines nowadays.
That's right.
Whereas in the past, a machinist would just be mill, lathe, and it's very manual work, right? So how has that skill set changed, and how should education, like at the high school level, how should we be making adjustments to training programs?
Yeah, no, great point. And we're seeing some of that. We're seeing some of that introduction into the automation, the computerized numerical control equipment. We're seeing some of that at the high school level now, and that's a great first step before they enter the junior college. And Modesto Junior College, for example, has done a great job of moving with industry and not so much just being a machining program anymore as a machine technology program. So there's programming, there's Mastercam, there's 5-axis machining, there's some 3D printing going on. So we're really kind of moving together with the advancements.
Okay, so I guess kind of a personal curiosity question. In practicality, how are you guys using 3D printing in your part of the manufacturing? Are you prototyping like tool dies and things like that? Is that how you're utilizing that professionally in the industry?
Yeah, so we're just getting into the 3D printing right now. We're using it for some pretty basic stuff, some work holding stuff, some fixtures to hold onto some other parts is kind of where we're at with that right now.
Okay, so some like bracing and things like that, so you maybe don't damage bits or things like that.
Yeah, so each piece needs to be held. After you manufacture one of these weird shaped work pieces, it needs to be held for inspection sometimes. So oftentimes you need to make a part with that same shape that can hold that part, and that's what we're doing with 3D printing.
Okay, so how do you envision maybe that changing? Like there's some new filaments that they're using that are like carbons, and the additive process I think is really interesting, as opposed to traditionally it's a you remove the metal.
Yeah, right.
Material.
Yeah, conventionally a lot of stuff in manufacturing is subtractive, where we remove material and what you're left with is the finished product, and moving towards where it's additive machining, which is 3D printing, where you're using maybe it's fiber metal or powder metal, and you're producing a part. So
So I guess where I'm going, and my curiosity stems from, I mostly work with K-12 folks, but I don't really get down to like the junior high or elementary school level. Sometimes I do, right? But like I know kids at junior high that are taking 3D printing, right? And I think that that's a really fantastic career path because it keeps them interested. But I'm having a really tough time on the education piece, like connecting that to manufacturing and what you guys do. And so I'm trying to give hope to that generation that the sort of what may feel like a toy with new technology right now is actually a professional machine being used in industry, and you can make a career out of, I don't know, printing little stuff in your bedroom right now. You can make a career out of it 5-10 years from now if you just keep up with the technology, or maybe get it connected to a company like Fastenal.
And I think a big first step is just knowing about it, right? Like knowing what CNC machines do and what organizations within your town do that type of stuff. We're always 100% open to tours, to bring students in. We worked a lot with Series High, bringing in their high schoolers to just kind of see what we do at our facility. Because I think students typically go for that, I want to do welding, right? So there's a lot more than welding out there when it comes to those hand-on and utilizing machines and whatnot. So I think a big part of it is just getting students in organizations like Fastenal where they can really just come in and learn and see what those opportunities are. So
awesome. Okay, so you brought it up. So now I want you to tell any teachers, CTE teachers, because CTE teachers watch this podcast. So I want you to tell them how they can connect with you and maybe do industry tours for their kids.
Sure, yeah. So our
our distribution center and manufacturing location is at 4025 Finch Road here in Modesto, and you can contact us 209-548-5001 and ask for Liz or ask for Corey, and we can get you scheduled for a tour. And we've held large tours up to having like 40 students, or we've done smaller tours where it's just one or two, or maybe it's just a class at a time. We're very flexible. We're very open to building a tour for the class size and getting students in. So
Thanks, guys. I appreciate your time.
Volt Institute in downtown Modesto is currently accepting applications for our next group of students for maintenance mechanics with hands-on training. Jobs in the industrial maintenance field are expected to increase by 15% in Stanislaus County by 2024. Careers in this field are high-paying, in demand, and have career growth potential. Volt Institute is a nonprofit training center ran in partnership with Stanislaus County Office of Education and Opportunity Stanislaus. If you're looking for a better career, Volt can help. Get more information or enroll now at voltinstitute.com.
Marcino. I'm the Director of Business Development for Automation Group based here out of Modesto.
Okay, Ryan. So again, I missed this question on every interview tonight so far because I'm excited that everybody's out here at Domo. What does Automation Group do?
So we specialize in controls and automation for food and beverage, pharmaceutical, entertainment, all throughout the West Coast and the rest of the country, honestly, yeah.
Wow, that's a lot to pack. Where we're at, we mostly food production.
Absolutely.
Right? So when you're talking about automation in food production, and tonight I've already talked to Del Monte, Blue Diamond, Stanislaus Foods.
Yep.
We talked a little bit about the skill set that's needed to get jobs in those manufacturing facilities.
Right.
Automation Group is kind of on the next level.
Right.
Right? When it comes to like working on equipment. So
absolutely.
What skill sets do you need to work at a company like Automation Group?
So technical aptitude, obviously, right, as you talked about, I think.
So what does that mean, technical aptitude?
So, I don't know. Let me think about that. Technical aptitude, yeah, critical thinking, a proclivity for technology, right? So computer, think about computer stuff. Our industry's moving towards software, so software engineering, right? So if you think about Silicon Valley, that's a lot of software engineering. It's starting to spill over more into automation as the industrial Internet of Things, as they like to call it now, that's a buzzword. As that becomes more prominent with companies like Del Monte and Blue Diamond, who we're supporting on a daily basis, as that becomes more prominent, that Silicon Valley type technology is starting to drip more into ours.
So Silicon Valley technology.
Yeah.
Really what we're talking about is things like robotics and optical sorters that are used at like Blue Diamond Almonds to change things.
To a certain extent.
Equipment, palletizing equipment, those types of things, right?
Right. More, and even evolving, I should say, into big data, networking, right? I mean,
okay, so you
in today's industrial environment with the right architecture and the right architecture as well from a controls perspective, you can run your factory from here.
Okay, so this is the Internet of Things, is what
industrial Internet of Things,
industrial Internet of Things, and this is called lights out manufacturing, right? This is because the concept is you're using all automated equipment and you're reducing the amount of staff, not for sometimes economic reasons,
sure,
right?
Sure.
But really, a lot of it has to do with reliability, right?
Right.
Okay.
We've also, I mean, fair not to say, there's a labor shortage.
That's a big deal right now.
Companies are struggling to find people that want to do traditional labor type jobs in those settings of a Blue Diamond or a Del Monte.
And those companies are willing to pay those folks more to stay.
Absolutely.
As opposed to go to a different company. companies. So
absolutely, and we're creating higher paying jobs, right? Because you have to be skilled, you have to be educated to do the jobs that our company's creating. So we feel like we're helping the community grow by bringing those jobs here.
Okay, so you talked again. We mostly deal with here in the Central Valley. We mostly deal with food and beverage production.
Right.
Well, you mentioned things like the entertainment industry,
right,
and some other industries as well. So, like, how is automation used in the entertainment industry?
Entertainment, I mean, movies got a ton of entertainment if you think about that aspect of it, but more when I say entertainment, I'm thinking Disneyland, Universal Studios. It's Cedar Rapids, I believe, is the company that owns Six Flags and Magic Mountain. So, I mean, if you think about any roller coaster, any ride you've been at in any one of those parks, there is a multitude of controls that goes into you experiencing that ride.
So it's not like, not just things like animatronics, like, you know.
No, I mean, everything from...
It's a small world at Disneyland, kind of, you know.
Everything at Small World actually is controlled, right? From that thing that's dancing going like this, that's on controls.
Right down to the boat that you're sitting in, right? Because that's all timing and everything, right?
And it's being censored the whole way it's along its ride, so that they can track it.
Talk to us about that process then, Ryan. So, and in terms of, I don't want to get like way in the weeds, but I think this whole process is kind of cool, right?
Yeah,
so,
absolutely.
Because it's automated and it has sensors and things, like seriously, very few people, it takes very few people to operate it, right?
Right.
But it takes very skilled labor in order to maintain it, correct?
Absolutely.
Okay.
Yeah.
So now I'm going to circle back to the skill sets that are required to work at Automation Group. So talk to me a little bit about that.
Sure. So traditionally, right, we're looking for controls engineers, and controls engineers typically have more of it's one of three. So it's been electrical, mechanical, or process background from a formal educational perspective, right? So if you go get your bachelor's, those are typically the degrees you're looking at: electrical engineering, chemical engineering, or process engineering. It has, as I mentioned earlier, evolved to software engineering is now a major part of our industry, to the point where for a long time we had just controls engineers. Those were the engineers that we had. And I got to give respect to our service engineers, highly skilled people, tons of experience. They can go fix anything at any time. Our controls engineers are the ones that are executing projects on a regular basis. Now we're hiring software engineers because a lot of the projects we're delivering are taking that infrastructure that's been installed from a controls perspective, and now we're pulling information out of that and helping the C-suite and the managerial teams make decisions based on how that equipment is running. Right, so it's OEE is what it's called in our industry. So
OEE, what is
overall equipment efficiency.
Okay, so in that, if you're talking about equipment efficiency, you can pull data like for preventative maintenance,
right?
Go on.
Yeah, no. So you can even look at, hey, 2 hours ago, this production line that was, let's just say, putting business cards in a box was running 1,000 boxes per minute. I'm looking at it now 2 hours later, and it's only running 800 boxes per minute. What variables changed that are creating that decrease in production, right? So it's measuring those variables and giving managers and/or that C-suite the ability to break down that data and make decisions that are going to make them more efficient.
Data-driven decisions.
Yep, exactly.
Okay, so first time here at the Domo event downtown,
yes.
Right? Were you even familiar with this event? Did you know that this happened?
No, I'll be honest and say we probably weren't prepared for what it actually was. I would have liked to have had a generator and some lights and some more stuff to entertain the crowd a little bit. We thought it was more of
So what do you think of this type of...
It's awesome.
For Automation Group to be out at an event like this?
Yeah, it's fun. We'll definitely be more prepared next time around, but obviously we're Stanislaus homegrown, committed to this community. We take a lot of pride in partnering with companies that are built here in this community and grow in this community. So something we want to invest in more. It's really cool to see all the people out.
Nice.
Yeah.
Awesome. Thanks, sir.
Absolutely. Thank you.
Ready for Work is made possible with help from our premier podcast sponsor, Bay Valley Tech Code Academy. Bay Valley Tech offers free and low-cost coding programs for students seeking life-changing careers in software development. Bay Valley Tech focuses on teaching in-demand web development skills. Unlike other coding and technical schools, Bay Valley Tech leverages a unique community-based training strategy. Professional instructors help students in the Central Valley learn how to use online programming languages to accelerate their careers. Locations in Modesto and Stockton, and a free code academy as an online program, Bay Valley Tech is a great place to learn how to code, but it is an even more amazing place to build connections necessary to land a paid software internship or web development job. Learn more about this fast-growing code academy at bayvalleytech.com. Well, that's all we have time for today on the program. A big thanks again to our premier podcast sponsor, Bay Valley Tech Code Academy. Don't forget to subscribe wherever you listen or watch your podcasts. Help bump that algorithm. It helps us out a lot. And more importantly, share this content with others. So subscribe. You don't want to miss the next episode. And a big thanks to our partners in the region, Stanislaus, Tuolumne, Calaveras, San Joaquin, and Merced counties. My name is Kevin Fox. This is Ready for Work. Until next time, get to work.